kinds of stuff going here. Hey, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday.
Switch over just a little bit. Switch over just a little bit.
We're here for the live stream.
Live stream for Lovely Mystic, Obtanium Flow, title track.
Yeah, how come I didn't pronounce it correctly?
What?
What you said? I said Lovely Mystic or something.
Oh, okay. All right. So we welcome you guys here. We're so happy to have you. We had to push back the live stream from last week, as you guys know.
Around the water.
Yes. Okay. So let's get. I know people give these sob stories at the beginning of the videos, and it usually makes me so mad. I'm like, just get on with it.
Yeah.
But you guys are coming to talk to us, so I'm assuming you want to hear this.
Yeah, but this is not a sob story. To go to kind of like that religious thing. This is a praise report.
Okay, I love it. It's a praise report. Okay,
yeah, that's
so
what this is.
Last Wednesday,
yes,
we had a historic amount of rain.
Yes,
in our community.
Followed by.
Well, hold on. Historic amount of rain. We have been in this house for 20 years, and we have never seen the kind of rain that came in a short period of time.
Yes.
So that means the basement flooded for the first time ever since we've been here, 20 years.
Yeah. But I don't want you to think it completely flooded.
No.
It flooded in certain areas.
Right. And again, it's a praise report because Bruce was down on the treadmill at 5-something in the morning and saw what was looking like it's going to be a water problem. Yes. And within 20 minutes, he was running upstairs saying, the basement's flooding. Yeah. So we grabbed everything out of the linen closet, started putting it on the major flood. But then we noticed it. Well, you noticed it started coming in other areas of the basement. So like 3 corners of the basement, water was coming in, and so we just had to act quickly and get that taken care of. So that was Wednesday.
Yes.
Thursday, we're sitting on the couch thinking it's going to be a storm warning or whatever, in the evening. And turns out there's a tornado that has touched down in our area, and they're like, get to the basement. So all of us get to the basement, and the next
at the time we knew there was a tornado that was spotted. So people don't understand how this runs. If they say that there's a tornado watch, then there are conditions that are present where a tornado can form.
Okay.
If they say there's a tornado warning, that means they've actually seen a funnel cloud.
Right.
And so we got one of those tornado warnings. So, having a tornado warning thing was really something else.
It really was.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we thought it was just touching down someplace else until you went out the next morning. Yes. And what did you see?
But so first of all, I just saw like a couple of pots that were on the, on our porch were turned over. Right. Mm-hmm. But I looked out, our grill was still there. And I saw a couple of branches down. I was like,
no big deal.
No big deal. There's no tornado came through there. Matter of fact, I kept going upstairs like tornado warning. But anyway, so I decided I was going to take a run, because we lost power. I'm running outside. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I started to see complete trees lifted up off the ground. Right. And on
root balls sitting up like 6 feet tall almost. Yeah. Like huge trees.
They were completely uprooted.
Yes.
And then it was like one person's house, it got just crushed.
Yeah.
By,
it's huge. We have pine trees. Yeah. In our sub. Yeah.
So and that was like throughout the sub where I was seeing that, and I was like, oh my goodness, my perspective
on what had
actually happened was just completely off.
Yeah. So
it was.
So needless to say, the 2 days after that. Right. So we tried to clean up the mess from what we could from the flood, and thankfully it didn't hit the studio per se. It was right on the edges.
Realistically, I don't even think we had like flood damage.
Right.
That would where you would report it.
Right. It's just they made us. Well, they wanted us. The state wanted us to fill out some forms. Right. To document the fact that water had come into the basement, that we experienced a flood. So we did that.
Now as kind of. To mitigate the flood risk, we may be taking on more expenses.
Yeah,
but it was not.
So 2 days after that, there was no power. So the good thing is that we had taken care of getting up all of the stuff, trying to get the water up. before the power went out, because we had fans going and and getting up all this stuff and getting it out to the not to the curb, but outside of the house, all that water damage stuff.
And we didn't have power for what, about 2 days?
About 2 days. So
it didn't last Friday.
There was at first we were gonna go forward with the live stream.
Right.
We were just gonna do it on the back patio until the power went out. And then that was all bets were off.
Yeah, all bets were off.
So but we're glad that we're back and we are thankful for again not having the kind of damage that a lot of our neighbors had. So we're thankful about that. So welcome all of you. I tried to go in and again invite as many of you personally to the live stream. And I was going to say for the people who are on Facebook, I want to encourage you, and I don't know if you can hear us or not because it's doing the little spinny thing.
Yeah.
I want to encourage you guys to join the street team, and I will put our new and improved link so that you can join our email list. Because if you join the street team, you're on email list, or you can go over to YouTube. YouTube seems to be pretty consistent with letting us share. But Facebook, I'm in Facebook jail now, so I don't even know if you guys are seeing this. I couldn't put any links out there for you to join, and so again, if you're on our email list, if you join the street team, then that helps you to be able. We can reach out directly to you and let you know about these things.
Go to YouTube. So it looks like for whatever reason that your iPad is using 5G, it's not using the Wi-Fi. So that's probably what's making it do that. So, I mean, 5G sucks.
Yeah, 5G
anyway.
sucks. All right, for another day. Okay, so we wanted to thank you guys for coming again. We wanted to celebrate with you that you guys supported us with every heartbeat. And I think I noticed this morning it had reached 69K views on YouTube for the music video. So you guys helped us, usher in that video. And we wanted to let you know we're celebrating with you that altogether, the 4 songs that have been released so far with the help of Groover have been on 225 playlists. So again, every time you guys come and we share that on the Groover and try to get, playlist curators, blogs, online radio stations, regular radio stations, or terrestrial radio stations. All of this works together to help us out.
And it's going to be all right. Is I think at about 49K views too.
Okay.
So.
Okay, and I didn't put all of them. And I know Funkalicious I just saw was I think at 97K, almost 97K views.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. So thank you guys for helping us get. We know we can't do this by ourselves, and we're getting a lot of love from you guys. So we appreciate that. And of course, at 7:45, all together, we're going to watch the newest single, the 5th single, Lovely Mystic, Obtanium Flow, at 7:45, immediately following the live stream. Right. So if you haven't had a chance, just make sure you get over to YouTube if you're not on YouTube now. And so we were talking about...
it's at 50K.
Oh, it's going to be all right.
It's going to be all right. It's at 50K
views for the video. And a lot of that is Asian and Latin countries. I don't know if you guys know, but the Groover service that we go through, they have an international presence of France and Argentina and Spain and Brazil and UK and all that, and especially for reggae, for our area that this album falls in. So we have a lot of people all over the world. So we wake up in the morning and we notice the plays are usually higher overnight because they're in different time zones. So we're thankful for that. And so again, shout out to Groover, shout out to you guys for helping us have that momentum. Yeah. But again, please be on our email list because that's the only way, especially if you're on Facebook. Most of our community, our active community is on Facebook, but YouTube seems to be more friendly to us as far as letting us share things. So again, if you get on the email list, we'll connect with you and you don't have to worry about the algorithm or me being in jail with the restrictions or whatever, right? So something we didn't mention last time was that you pulled down It's Gonna Be All Right before it went live to the public and put the horns in.
Oh, not pulled down. What do you mean?
I mean, not pulled down, but because originally the album was already prepared. All the songs were prepared, but Bruce kept hearing horns. And the benefit of this Russian Doll, Waterfall.
Right, doing things slow.
One at a time, right.
Yeah.
And he kept hearing this horn part.
Yeah.
And you just couldn't help yourself. What you do?
Yeah, because I kept hearing it in my head, it's like it should be on the song. So
yeah,
I put it in the song. There are a couple of songs I think on Sugar Fit where I heard parts and I didn't put them in.
Okay.
And it's sort of like it kind of bothered me that I didn't put them in because every time I hear the songs, I hear the parts.
Oh wow.
So whereas with this one, it's like I was hearing the part, so it's like okay, let me go ahead and add.
You have the opportunity to
put the part in.
Yes.
When you hear it, just go ahead and put it in. And sometimes, it's like you hear a part and maybe you might use it, but usually, I'll use it in some capacity.
Okay.
And so it's sort of like with that one, it was just added a little extra color that wasn't there before, because sometimes you could get, and I guess it was more in a finished stage at that point, but you can kind of get attached to whatever mix that you've been doing. And so it can be kind of difficult to say, okay, I want to change something about it.
Yeah.
It's hard to do it, even if the mix isn't great.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you've been listening to it long enough, you may kind of say, but I like where it's at.
Yeah.
Because I always think about this. It's like a lot of the songs that, I always loved, I don't think I really pay attention to them technically.
Okay.
There are certain things that I was struck by, like, when I first heard, I think, Tunnel Love by Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
I heard it in that Shabbat, and it was in mono on AM radio.
Yeah.
And that song sounded like unbelievable.
It was a mile wide. Yes.
Right. It was like, this thing just sounds huge.
Yes.
So it was, so that one I was struck by that. But, also I did like the song.
Yeah.
So, but usually that's not something I fall in love with.
Yeah.
I think I just normally fall in love with the character, everything of the song, and then it might be later I might listen to it. I'm like, wow, this song is not really that well mixed, and this part doesn't sound that good, but all these things kind of help to give a character. So, yeah.
So that's been a fortunate thing. We kind of talked about that a little bit about the releasing one at a time to get a chance to give it the love and care that you feel like it needs. And this one was weird because not only, of course, are there a combination of genres combined.
Yeah.
This song in particular, Lovely Mystic, Obtanium Flow. But what we noticed, what you told me, was there's no slap bass on this album for the first time ever. And no Fodera at all, but you use all of the guitars, and that you needed the Sandberg because you needed that extended range. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I guess I didn't need it because I got the extended range on the PB Cyrus, which Tony Webb's Dirty Diapers paid for the PB Cyrus.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's when MP3.com was a thing. So when we talk about social media platforms going away, we've been through a few.
Yeah.
Which is why we don't have, that's why we say get on our email list, join the street team.
Yes.
Join the street team.
Yeah, and
that
YouTube
way.
People subscribe. We're so close to 50K subscribers.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
46K subscribers. I didn't forget what I was about to talk about, but
okay.
But
I was saying if you get on the email list, that way you stay abreast of everything, and the algorithm can't cut you out, and then you be in a Facebook jail or whatever. If I end up in YouTube jail, whatever, you won't miss out if you're interested.
All right, so this one's for bass nerds. So,
bass nerds, come on with it.
So the thing that's great about the reason why I prefer going to extended range, as far, especially if I'm, of course, going towards a low B, I prefer my Sandberg over my PB Cyrus, which is a 6-string, right? Okay. Is that to me, that Sandberg plays like a 4-string. So it's really weird. And for some people, if you have extremely large hands, this might not work for you. So, meaning that something like the Cyrus that is kind of got a pretty thick neck and, that might be better for you. But for me, the strings are a little bit closer together on the Sandberg. And so a while back, I had a Music Man 5-string. Matter of fact, I had an original Music Man 4-string. That I traded to get that Ernie Ball 5-string. It was the worst mistake I've ever made trading bass. Worst mistake I've ever made.
Why?
Worst mistake I've ever made. Because that 5 was just horrible for me. And Music Man 5-string it did not, never felt right, never felt good. I felt like I wasn't even a bass player anymore. I was like, man, I just kind of lost it. It's like I can't play anymore. That's the way I felt. And but that 5-string Sandberg, that's another reason why I always like to kind of play a guitar instead of
you purchase it,
doing something mail order or something like that. Now, there are a few of them that I did that way. You can really see it. You can't see it on Facebook, but you can actually see it on YouTube, right? There is a red Marcus Miller bass. That's Sire Marcus Miller bass. And then right next to it is a Les Paul. Both of those, I ordered them.
If you're on YouTube, you can see it. Sorry, Facebook.
I ordered both of those. And then on YouTube, you can also see over my right shoulder, you can see another thing that Dirty Diapers bought, which is my Mexican-made fretless Fender jazz bass. So, yeah. So again, but that was the thing about that. So the Sandberg gave me an extended range. I love playing that Sandberg because it plays like a 4. To me, there's little to no difference when I'm switching between my 4-string to the 5 on that one. I always felt comfortable going to the B string, and a lot of times, I know when I had that Music Man 5, and then even sometimes with my PV. Because a lot of times for the PV, I use it more for the higher range stuff because it has the high C on it. So I use it for a lot of that kind of stuff. I never quite felt comfortable going to the B string.
Okay.
The B string was this thing where I had to make up in my mind, I'm going to use the B string.
Okay.
Whereas when I'm playing the Sandberg, I just do it.
Okay.
It's like it just naturally just flows into my playing. Right. I don't have to think about it. It's like, and it always just feels right. So that bass is great. I mean, I don't even remember how I found out about Sandberg, but awesome.
And the guy is really responsive. He likes a lot of our posts, and we were talking about if we ever go to Germany. That we were going to go. He allows people to come in and tour his factory, and we get to meet him personally. So that's kind of on our bucket list.
Yeah, Behringer might be on our bucket list too, because I really like their gear a lot. You can't see it on either one, but we're sitting right in front of the Behringer wing. I had the Behringer X32 prior to that, so I really do like the Behringer gear. It's usually not that expensive, but it usually performs well.
And it's easy
sounds
to get
around. Good. Pretty easy to get around. The wing is a different thing.
Animal, right?
Yeah, I mean you really have to kind of change the way that you think about mixing when you're working with the wing. So it doesn't work like your regular mixing board. And once you're willing to make that paradigm shift in your head, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So we wanted to talk about. We already talked about the playlist curators. A lot of them for our Obtanium Flow songs. So for the last 4 singles have been in Spanish-speaking country. We talked about Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, which is different than what happened with Funkalicious. Honduras was like the big place for that. And then Tell Me What You Want when it got on some playlist that we hadn't even, I don't think, pitched for. It was in Vietnam. Right. So again, just that international kind of impact, and that has been exciting for us. I want to talk about the meaning of this particular song.
Okay. That's kind of both of us, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you kind of kick it off?
This one I thought, because we kind of cobbled together the lyrics.
Right.
That it kind of speaks to not looking too fondly on things backward, but really look forward to what excites you, what brings you forward, what makes you, get up and be fired up.
Yeah.
And not worrying so much about regrets, mistakes, and things that didn't work out or things that are past. Like it was great, but then it's over.
Right. Yeah. I think it's twofold. It's like you can't get wrapped up in failures or accomplishments.
Yeah, because too much of either is
bad. Yeah. But the part to me is that I think between the two, and this is going to sound weird, I think failures are more helpful.
Okay, what do you mean?
Than accomplishments. Because you learn things from failures.
Okay.
I mean, failures, you kind of learn, okay, yeah, I'm not going to do this, or this is kind of what I need to do to kind of change this. And so when you look at them as learning opportunities, then, I mean, it helps you to say, okay, this is what, it's the same thing like we were talking about with the basement, right?
Yeah.
The basement failed, right?
Yeah.
So now we know, okay, we got this issue.
Yeah.
What can we do to shore this issue up?
Yeah.
How can we make this better? Yeah. Where sometimes you don't know, like, where your weaknesses are. Yeah. For 20 years, right?
Yeah, 20 years.
We didn't know that there was a weakness,
right? No failed.
So you don't think that, hey, we need to figure out ways to kind of firm things up. People don't normally think that way when you're constantly accomplishing.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
People around you are constantly applauding you. If people, are constantly patting you on the back and all the rest of that kind of stuff, a lot of times you don't grow.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of times what makes you grow sometimes is the fact that, people challenge you with criticism. People challenge you with the fact that they don't respond to your music. People challenge just in different ways where they make you say, okay, let me try this, or let me try that.
Or like you said, maybe it's even firming up your resolve. You look at the situation and say, okay, I've looked at everything. Yeah. I can see where you're coming from, but my original, what my goal was with my music, with my expression in this particular case was this. We kind of talked about that.
Yeah, but I always feel like there's something I can improve. So meaning that just because somebody comes and says, hey, I don't like blah, 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 or I don't like your style of music, whatever else. But at least I always see, each time that we do something as an opportunity to step something up.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That it's it's like, hey, maybe if I even step up more in this area, I feel like if I can make things greater, that things will inevitably have a greater reach. Okay. I mean, that's just for me. Now, I do understand that the world is not a meritocracy, and so I'm not one of these type of people who, kind of have a pipe dream about that. But when you're thinking about what you can do, the only thing that you can do is make you better. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the part that, and if I'm always proud, and always feeling good about that aspect of it, then.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was saying that there's one of our peers, was early on, a few years back, when we first, connected with them, and they were saying, well, you need to focus only on this and kind of shut down, because, we do podcasts, the video podcast, the blog, we do all of that along with the music. And his comment was, if you focus on the music, you would get further faster. Yeah. And I guess, I looked long and hard at those ideas, and it just didn't sit well with me, because I know I enjoy, us doing the podcast, and I like exploring topics, and those, we wouldn't explore as many if we only put it in the music. Yeah. Right. So, and I mean, people wouldn't hear it, because then we release a song every week, because we release a podcast episode every week. So that's all I was saying, is that sometimes you just decide that you're going to, you understand that it's going to be a longer haul, but it's worth it. So just examine, am I fooling myself to think we can progress with the music? Yeah. If we're doing all this. And I guess at that time I decided, even if it's longer and slower, I want to continue doing it.
Yeah, but it's the other point too, is that, so what do we do to,
get more engagement. When we do decide to do it.
Right. And making sure that, hey, these are ways that we can make it even better. Yeah.
And which is why we're doing a live stream. That's one of the things that we added that we had said we were going to do and had never done before. Right. So that was one of the things that we said, well, this will be an enrichment and enhancement of the promotion that goes into what we're doing, or just the sharing, right? Right. And what I thought was a fun fact is, unlike previous BPJ albums, which may have been peppered with some choice words, this song is the only one in the entire album that has a cuss word in it. Yeah. Right? That's correct, right?
I think so. I think you're right.
And it almost was edited out, because you felt it, but then you took it out. Yeah. And then I encourage you to put it back in, because that's, to me,
that's what you heard. And that's what seemed right.
It seemed right for this song, because, That's it's like that, and that's the way it is. Right?
Right. Should go with your first mind. Right?
Especially when you're expressing something. Now, like you said, there is a point to be made to keep massaging things, but sometimes the way it comes out that first time is the purest expression.
Yeah.
Like if you want that emotion.
Yeah.
And to me, that word, evokes that kind of emotion. So
yeah.
So it just seemed to fit right there, and I'm glad it was added back in.
Yeah.
And it's the only cuss word in the entire album. So
yeah, it's so weird with this record. I think it's probably because the more I think about it, it is very heavily Bob Marley influenced.
Yes.
And and I don't know people who are, if you're really into like Bob Marley and that kind of thing, it doesn't necessarily, the music doesn't necessarily sound like Bob Marley. Right. But to me, it's like pulling from the vibe of that.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what it, in the way that he, at least I feel like, kind of influenced that.
Yeah, and especially like you said, the ethos is about love and about understanding and about people getting along or people, trying to empathize and things like that. I think for sure.
And I think it's because it came out of that period of time. It came out of 2020.
Right.
So it just like it started to coalesce during 2020, and actually like this one is one of the ones was kind of at the end of it.
It's like, where do we go from here? We've had the rift, we had the division. We see, that people are polarized, and this is a possible solution because don't be a part of the problem, be a part of the solution.
And I think the part that's encouraging is that I think everybody, people in other time periods, they were going through the same thing. The same kind of stuff, but polarization. You got to think, if you go back and you look at the 60s, man.
Riots, you got people killing their own college students.
Right. You got all kinds of stuff that's just happening. You got, presidents being assassinated. Political figures being assassinated. Just, during that period of time, it was like great angst.
And they're going off the war.
We had Vietnam happening at that time. And the casualty count that they had for Vietnam was nothing like the casualty count that we saw, over the years, when our soldiers were in Afghanistan. So it's like, I don't think I don't think our times today are as turbulent. I think people who are on Twitter and searching for clickbait, they want you to believe that. But there's no way that today's time is nearly as turbulent as it was during that time.
And I still say that thing about the Dust Bowl. That almost seemed like a horror movie. The California Dust Bowl.
I'm not even talking about the Great
weather
Depression and all the rest of that stuff that was going on.
And
World War II and the amount of people that died in that. It's like, and, there are other generations that
had a lot worse.
Which
is why they keep saying we're moaning and groaning about nothing.
Right.
All right, I wanted to talk about my favorite part of this song of Lovely Mystic, Obtanium Flow. Is that, I guess it kind of changes, but my new favorite part is that growly bass part that goes crazy at about the 4-minute mark. So if you're a person and you're going to watch the premiere with us at 7:45, don't forget, we're going to all watch it together, of the Lovely Mystic, Obtanium Flow video. Pay attention to that 4-minute mark. And then, of course, my other favorite part is the part that goes backward, which is kind of always been my favorite part, where it sounds like you're saying something, but you're not, but you're out of the shot. It has all of that emotion.
I'm saying I'm out of the shot.
Yeah, okay, well,
it's not true.
Okay, if it's even running anyway. All right. So those are my favorite parts. There's actually another part in there. Oh man, I can't remember it now. But that 4-minute mark for that growly bass part, the bass is gone wild. I love that part.
Well, it really. So what I use for that is my Fender jazz bass. So it's kind of telling that story that I was telling before. So that's with the Music Man 5-string. I told you I did one of the dumbest things ever. I traded my original pre-Ernie Ball See, bass Skeets. I'm telling you. Pre-Ernie Ball, Music Man Stingray, right?
Okay.
Had that, right? Bomb bass. The thing that was weird for me with the Stingray, though, it was great, you know, if you're thumping, plucking, that kind of stuff. What I didn't like about it was, you know, I was also a very, very, still a big fan of Geddy Lee.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like when I want to dig in and kind of do that rush stuff, it didn't feel right for that. It didn't give me quite that same tone. It's like Music Man, you're kind of committed to that Music Man tone.
Okay.
Which is great. You know, you thumping and plucking is awesome, right? You know, that's just it. I'm sorry, slap bass. So I say thumping and plucking because I got that from Larry Graham. I grew up with thumping and plucking. So that's what I grew up with. So anyway, that was probably one of the reasons why I decided, okay, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and get the 5, you know, because I want to have that extended range. Worst decision I ever made. But then I happened to grab up this bass here. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. So I just happened to grab this bass here, which is my Fender Jazz bass. 1978 Fender Jazz bass, right? It seems like it was one done from the custom shop because it doesn't have the pearl inlays.
Doesn't have the
doesn't have pearl inlays. No pearl inlays on this, right? And I remember playing it in a music store, and the action was just jacked up. And when I say that, the strings were really high and that kind of thing. I played it. All of a sudden, I felt like I played the bass again.
Oh, wow.
And I told him, look, I got a Music Man 5-string. I will trade you straight up for it. They say, yes, if you give us $300 more. I said, fine, I'll go find $300. I will give you that. Because I knew I had to have this bass.
If it was messed up with the setup, and it played so well.
That was it. All I had to do was get the setup on it, you know, and I ended up changing the bridge, put a badass bridge on here. Mm-hmm. And other than that, I hadn't done anything. And this bass has been with me, and it's, to me, the Fender Jazz bass has got to be like one of the most versatile basses ever. Okay. You know, it just can do anything. It's like if you had one suit and it had to be a black or brown suit.
No sponsorship. This is not sponsored. Just letting you know.
Yeah. That the Fender Jazz bass is just the most. You do anything with it. Yeah. Everything you can do with it. And so that's, you know, this. If you got to have just one bass, to me, this is it.
That's it.
This is it. So for this song, I ended up I restrung this, not for this song specifically, but I restrung this with flat rounds. Okay. As opposed to round. So it has, you know, more of a 1960
wounds. Yeah. Flat wounds.
Yes. Okay. And so it has more of a, I guess, 1960s kind of sound to it. It gives me more of that reggae feel.
Ooh, so I like the growl.
And that's the other thing. So I used also octave pedal on it, so an Aguilar optimizer. Ooh. I use that on this, and so there's a part where the bass line switches.
Right, that's the part. That's the optimizer. That's that 4-minute mark. 4-minute mark, you guys. Make sure you check out that 4-minute mark. And yeah, that is like, it's like every time I was working on the video, and every time that part would come, it would just do something to me. So I just let that go. I didn't put anything fancy, because I want you to just feel the bass. The bass. Yes. All right. I think I should let you guys know t-shirts are available. Yes. This t-shirt is what we're calling the Clouds. Yeah. So it's the Clouds Obtanium Flow. And then I am wearing the Retro Flow, which has the retro fan. Okay. Yeah, Retro Flow. Yeah. So
both are very nice.
Yes, I love it. The links are below if you would like those. And again, we will be giving one to the person who tags the most folks in the video. So make sure you're tagging your friends and relatives so that they can check out, even if it's the replay of the live stream. And then we were saying, let's see. We talked about the songs or influences this time around. We're on the 5th single, but there's another single planned.
Yes.
The next single is
So Restless.
So Restless. And that live stream will be on October 20th, which is a Friday at 7 p.m. Yes. And so we're looking forward to that. Yeah. So if you're available, make sure you come over check it out. And of course, we'll have the video premiere as well. And let's see. Oh, and I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if I don't know if you guys know, but all of the discography for Bourgeoisie Paper Jam, the majority of it is available over at Bandcamp. So if you would like to purchase something older, it's over at Bandcamp. Whereas on YouTube, there are, I think, 3 albums?
So what 3 are they? Oh, so the acoustic one.
Yes, the Hieroglyphic Rin.
Yeah.
And of course the Honey Dipped Acoustic Set.
Yeah.
Sugar Fit, so 4, and now Obtanium Flow. Okay, so those are the 4 that are on YouTube, but we have quite a few more. Welcome to My World.
Yeah.
Is over on Bandcamp, as well as all the Tony Webb albums. If you're interested, if you're a bass fan, then that is where you're going to want to go. If you like the clips, you know, we do the weekly clips.
Yeah.
If you like the clips, there is a ton of Tony Webb bass.
So that's kind of interesting about this one. That Lovely Mystic started as a clip.
Yes, it did.
That and really by the time when we did that clip, that's all we had.
Yep. Well, okay.
You know what I mean? That was it.
Yeah, and people always ask what happens to the clips. This, like you said, is a result.
Yeah, if you're wondering what happens to the clip, this is what happens to the clip.
Yeah, that sometimes they turn into songs, and sometimes they you know, build on them and get a feel for where it can go and expand into a full-fledged song.
Yeah, and I'll give you guys a hint. So a lot of times if they're singing on the clips, they probably will turn into a song.
Oh yeah.
Because usually the part that, you know, we're going to be singing is going to be the chorus.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's usually something that's going to work its way into a song pretty quickly.
Yeah, we like that. Yeah, because people always ask, they're like, "Oh, here we see all these clips. Will you do anything with them?" Like, they're just the basis, the kernel, the seeds of a song.
And now since we're doing like clips every day, we're not necessarily recording. We're not recording them, but so there are other ones like, you know, so Restless was a clip.
Yes.
You know, but I mean, we haven't put it up yet.
Yeah.
But it was a clip that turned into something. But it was a clip that had chorus already.
I was about to say, and here is another thing of, again, swapping out. So because of the way the album is rolling out one at a time, the waterfall method, as they call it, Russian doll method.
Yeah.
That was the opportunity. We're swapping. We said we're swapping which song?
Find My Joy.
Find My Joy. So if you're a person and you're interested in Find My Joy, make sure you become a Patreon supporter, because it will be downloadable there.
Yeah.
So when the album is the complete album is finished here, there will be whatever is the outtake will be over and available on the Patreon.
Right.
So,
okay.
So that way you don't lose anything. You can still get it. But as it's kind of nice that the album is changing as you're feeling it.
Yeah.
Kind of, again, I say it keeps me engaged as far as video making, but it seems like it's keeping you engaged as far as writing.
Well, it's just one of those type of things where you stumble over something that you think is a better fit.
Okay.
And so, like, that one seemed like it was a better fit
than Find My Joy.
Okay. You know, instead of like stretching the album out to be 17, 18.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, well, you know, why don't we just, since this one just fits better.
Yeah.
That, you know, because it kind of flows with some of the other stuff a little bit better.
Yeah.
Then, you know, it just seems that, hey, this is one that, you know, it should probably just bring this one off, the one that doesn't fit as well.
Yeah.
Just pull it off and, you know, put this one on. So, because now we're at a point where we can say, not only do we want something to fit, you know, as far as thematically, but now saying what also fits well musically.
Yeah.
You know, and so.
And this one is a nice compliment to Every Heartbeat. That's mine.
No, I agree. Yeah, it is.
And Every Heartbeat seems to be a favorite for a certain type of Afrobeat. You know, people who like that flavor.
Yeah.
And so we've talked about many flavors of reggae. This is another twist.
Yeah, it is.
You know, of that. but lovely Mystic. I can feel it in my soul. I feel the Stevie Wonder. I feel the
Now that's weird that you bring that one up too, because I think that one song, Master Blaster, was I think also a catalyst.
Okay,
you know, there's certain things that there's like, if I had to say, were real, I guess, catalyst to this is, you know, Master Blaster from Stevie Wonder.
I love Master Blaster.
Bob Marley, and then I would say the Police.
Okay,
that those are probably like the biggest influences on this particular record.
Yeah.
That you know, and of course Prince.
Yeah. Well, there's always a little Prince in there. Prince in everyone, right? And don't forget, when the album is finally done, we may not have live streams or quote unquote singles for each one, but there are other songs on the album that we think give you a wider picture of who we are as Bourgeoisie Paper Jam.
Yeah.
And those songs include Flower Girl, Close to Me, Enraptured, Gone, and Instant Lover. So those are the ones. And then, of course, my favorite get up every day morning routine song is Daylight.
Yeah.
And so if you want that spark first thing in the morning to get you going and get you motivated, to get you thinking positively, that is the song. So
and one of the ones that I think was also a clip was Gonna Leave It Behind.
Oh, that's right.
That one was actually a clip before.
Okay. And it turned into a song.
That turned into a song. But I don't remember when we did it as a clip if we had to sing it on it or not.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So that was yet another one that we did a clip for it.
Yeah.
And that ended up being a song. There might be a few others that I think Instant Lover, we might have done a clip. We may have done a clip for that, but that was already a finished song. So
yeah,
you know.
And then of course we've talked about this before, but Instant Lover, Flower Girl, and Rings were songs previous to this album that were redone completely, kind of reworked. Yeah. To modernize and to make it in the flow that we're feeling now.
Yeah, but in a way it's kind of weird. It's like, so that's, I would say probably Rings, Instant Lover, Flower Girl, and Enraptured were kind of going towards an acoustic thing.
Okay.
That was kind of
in the works to follow up the Honey Dipped acoustic set. So if you haven't heard that, again, that is available. Yeah. It's on YouTube. It doesn't have, well, I think You're Not Alone has a video. Yeah. So that has a video, but it doesn't have a music. The other ones don't have music videos, but the music is available there. And then, of course, on Spotify. And we're appreciating you guys going over to Spotify. And then, of course, on Bandcamp. Everything is mostly on Bandcamp.
Yeah. So. And look, guys, really, really make sure that you subscribe. If you're not subscribed, I mean, I don't know what we're going to do for 50K, but we're going to do something.
Yes, we're going to do something special for 50K.
I don't know what it's going to be, but we're going to do something for 50K. And for other geeks that's out there, for my NPC geeks out there, the NPC X, we use that, you know, a lot of samples that I did in here, I did it in the X. It's been great for this, you know, using different drum loops, deconstructing the drum loops to use the drum sounds throughout this thing.
You mean you've been chopping them up? Chopping them up?
The X has been great, and then we're going to do a follow-up video on that NPC plugins and the plugins issue that we had. Yeah. That's going to be coming, you guys. Yeah. I know I'm mixing a lot of shit up, but
that's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
So just letting y'all know.
Okay, so don't forget, in 2 minutes, 7:45, we are on over to watch the video together. Yeah. So we do appreciate you guys coming. Don't forget, the person that tags the most people, even if it's the replay for the live, will win one of the 2 shirts. So you can let us know whether you want the Clouds version or the Retro Flow. Yeah. And just again, if we see you tagging a bunch of folks, then we know it's you, and we'll be contacting you for it. Snail mail address so that we can get it to you. Wow.
And it's a long ass video, y'all. So look, if you're a person and you watch this long ass video, you know, you should definitely you should even say something. You say, I'm one of the people that watched your long ass video. And then also you should be subscribe.
Yeah,
so,
please
so
subscribe.
all of those things that you should be doing. May I should have said this at the beginning, but I'm just saying, you did this.
Yeah.
You made it all the way to this.
And we appreciate you.
Yeah,
we do.
That's saying a lot.
It really is.
Thank you.
All right, so you guys, if you dig the vibe and you want to be a part of the tribe, be sure to subscribe. And we'll see you guys on, hold on, let me get my little cheat sheet, on October 20th, Friday, for the next live stream, 7 p.m. for So Restless.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's that time.
All right, and